But be warned, you cannot capture this pike with thread or net, for it will elude the fates of man. And Illmarien, he went off to see the Maiden of the North one last time. And again she said, I have seen in my mother's dark glass what you must now do. Light up your fire a last time. Use it to melt your sled of bronze. Make from that the body and the wings of an eagle. And the beak and the claws of that eagle make from the steel of its runners. And then put in that eagle the living fire of your forge, that its eyes may open and it may live. Let the eagle hunt the pike, but watch out. Do not let it run free, else it eat the pike in its greed. And Illmarien did what she said. He reforged his sled to make a great eagle. And in it he set the living fire of his forge, and the eagle's eyes opened, and it flew up, and Illmarien watched it with the joy of a creator, watched it fly across the sky, watched it stalk down on the lake, and pick up the pike, and he laughed with joy, and forgot the maiden's word. But before he knew what had happened, the eagle had swallowed half the pike, and then it spat out the jaws to him, and flew off south, taking with it the holy fire, the living fire of Illmarien's forge, which is why the south is still warm, for men say it still lives there today. And Illmarien, with a slight thinking feeling in his heart, went before the throne of pain, carrying the jaws of the pike alone. And when she saw that, the crone of the north said, You failed. Go home. I don't deal with failure here. Unless you've something else to give me, the Maiden of the North will never be yours. And Illmarien looked at the beautiful Maiden of the North, with her eyes the colour of the winter sun. And he wanted her more than he wanted anything else. And although Illmarien, who had spent his entire time sitting there in the shadows, got up and said, No, don't! He felt his hand already go into his jerkin. And he pulled out the great holy sabot, the template of the stars, in which the fates of gods and men are caught. And he offered it as bride price. And the crone took it, laughing, and said, Oh, it will do. Your debt is paid. And she bent forward and kissed him, cold on the forehead. And then she kissed the Maiden of the North 3 times. Once on the forehead for love, once on the cheek for life, and once on the lips for death, and bade them go. And before anybody could say anything, Illmarien whisked up the 2 lovebirds, put them on his horse, and rode off south as fast as he could gallop, singing on his lyre, desperate, in case ice followed. But the crone did not do anything, but rather sat upon the throne of pain, smiling, thinking of the 6 things that would now come to pass, thinking of her 2 mighty slaves, the bear and the wolf, thinking of the jaws of the pike that she had on her lap, the jaws that made men age, but thinking most, it was thought, of the sabot as she fingered long, that which catched the light of creation itself. And Illmarien rode back south, and held a mighty feast for Illmarien and the Maid of the North, a feast to which many heroes came, and from which further stories follow. So that was one song cycle from the